focuses on athletes and injuries. And you've been a coach who've done with concussions. I've had students who had multiple injuries over and over again and still play. And I do know some people who are members of NCAA where on the sidelines they will tell me, Anna Maria, I'm in pain every second of the day. Now, they had a wonderful college career and playing sports, but we often don't hear about those injury stories that they suffer in their late 30s, even 40s.
Right, that's true. And one of the reasons why athletes just have to continue to train and get exercise within their bandwidth immediately after their sport and into those years right after it. Because as they set those patterns for exercise, then the body will prolong its own illnesses and its rigidity. So it's important for folks to recognize that Division I sports or even college sports in general, it's pretty, it's alluring, it's fun, it's competitive, it's all those things that for the reasons why you pursue it. At the same time, we got to take care of our bodies, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, no, it's so important. I mean, you're a great role model for that all the time. And then the other question that I have for you is a lot of times I'll have a student come in and say, should I focus on my grades, my test scores, or just the sport? Where do I prioritize? What are the coaches looking for?
Good question, and I would say all of the above, but you got to do it in a way that isn't overwhelming. The higher the GPA, the more college opportunities you're going to have. Then it becomes a question on the selection of the college athletic program that's the best fit both academically and in performance. So if there is one that outweighed the other, for the majority of student athletes, I would say the academic side is really important. There is that percentage of student athlete that is so gifted, so talented in their sport that colleges are looking at them for that reason. And so for many, you have to be able to qualify to get into the college, but whether or not, if you have a 3.4 and the college average entrance exam or GPA is a 3.5, those colleges are probably going to be a little forgiving. They're not going to give a whole grade point, though, just because you're a great athlete.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I could be the next Michael Jordan, but if I have a 1.0 next, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's unfortunate. And my last question to you, there's a lot of times when, going down near the end of the timeline, I have had students come and say, oh, the coach says they really want me. They're excited for me to come in the fall. And then all of a sudden I say, oh, did you get that in, you have do you have an admissions acceptance or not? So no, it's just a verbal commitment. And I tell a lot of students a verbal commitment is very different than a written commitment, which could be an acceptance letter, a likely letter, or the infamous, national letter of intent. So you'll hear a lot of times seniors, I'm sure you do too, say, oh, I'm going to this school and I'm going that school. I'm like, they didn't get an acceptance letter. And then it gets very quiet near the end of the year, right? So can you talk about what is a true binding agreement with a student athlete and then with the college campus? Because I see a lot of times students put too much hope into words and not having that reality check to trust what's in black and white.
And one of the things I was referring to about weird things can happen, many things can happen up to the end of the senior year, and that's one of them. Colleges will initially express, the process will generally go, hey, student athlete, I'm interested in you as an athlete for our program. We want to recruit you, so you need to know that. Do you want to come to our place? And so there's some verbal conversation that will occur between the coach and the student athlete. To follow that up, though, we need stuff in writing, and that is where the commitment lies. While coaches are coaching you or recruiting you, they're going to be recruiting other student athletes also. So, student athletes cannot have blinders to that piece. Because again, coaches, they got to win. That's their job. they ought not be misleading. But the bottom line is they're seeking to fill their rosters with prospects that's going to help them win and fit the philosophy of their program. And so, and while you may be one of those athletes right now, there may be another athlete that makes a decision 2 hours before you that says, oh, this is the person that we've needed. They were number one on our recruiting list. We're certainly going to take them, and that might have one or two other students out of the conversation. So it's important to have, real clear expectations and understandings of what that verbal commitment is, but getting in it writing seals the deal. And what that means is there's a two-way commitment, that you commit to the university in your sport for that particular year, and the university will commit themselves to you. Now, flip side of that is, for most of those sports, that's an annual process. So you will have to do that again for all 4 or 5 years that you're at that particular school. So the commitment is binding, and you want to get to a place as a young recruit where you're getting that national level letter of intent, or you're getting that acceptance award from that particular college. So
make sure you have it in black and white, right?
Absolutely.
Because anyone could pull out, no matter how nice that coach is, no matter what they said through all this time, right? And that happens every year across the nation, unfortunately.
Right.
Any last words of wisdom for our listeners out there?
I would say if you take a sky view, and depending on the year which you graduate, whether you're a senior, junior, sophomore, or whether you're an eighth grader playing club sports that are as a high profile sport, you want to start early. You have to understand that there's no shortcuts to this process. Coaches are not interested in recruiting your parents. Coaches are not interested in recruiting your club or your high school coach. Coaches are interested in recruiting you, and they want to know what your level of talent is, and they also want to know what your character is. So being great leaders at your school and in your community, playing for your high school teams are super important. How well you're demonstrating leadership in and outside of the classroom, and then, not missing dates with regards to application processes, communication with admissions representatives, and learning as much as you can about the college. So do your homework, do the research. There's no shortcuts to that, and be persistent.
Coach Bluford, a.k.a. Coach Blu, thank you so much for giving us all your wisdom and experiences to the show.
You are very welcome anytime, and thank you. Best of luck to all you recruits out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right. So that's the show. So how was that for you?
Oh, it was great. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, good. So I'll have the talent here jazz it up, and then I'll share the link to you. We have various different platforms where we post it. On Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, this other one, Stitcher, I think, Spotify. I think there's a link even on YouTube, but it's just as an audio. And then I'm going to do some homework on Google Podcasts if I ever get to it. But if there's another one that you think we're missing, that doesn't require a fee, right? Because you know how SI is. That'd be great. It is not listed anywhere on our website. I don't know if you notice. We talked about the website over and over again. It is, to put it plainly, a mess, and there is nobody taking charge of it. We are getting someone new, so we will see if that new person's going to take on board. I don't know what Katie's vision is with that, but it'd be nice if at least there was just a starting point.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. If you want that link, let me know. If not, no problem.
Definitely send me the link. And I've never done one, or I haven't listened to a lot of podcasts before, so this was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, I think if there's another idea, if you want to do, sure, there's somebody that we were talking to who does Adobe Premiere for the videos and this and that. And that's great, but that just takes, to me, it's another level of so much extra work
the lighting. Can you I mean, that's, you're right. Like, I'm trying to think of like creating athletic resume, right? Like that would be another way where like a lot of kids get so stuck, even though there's not one way. But, but I do notice that, we have a lot of our parents who have done that. It would be really interesting, the popularity of this podcast. Like the COVID-19 of FAQ was the most downloads that we ever had. Yeah. I mean, my husband would say this is, he goes, God, it's so boring because he does entertainment. Like he wants it all jazz, gossip. And I'm like, no, I cannot do that. I cannot do that, But I've had other students who've said like, oh, yeah, I mean, it's not the most exciting thing, but it's informative. So if someone wants the information, it's there and they could get it 24/7.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
And then speaking of early, so whenever your beautiful daughter wants to start in that college process, I mean, you're very knowledgeable. Let me know. I never push students too much when they're younger because, everyone's mindset is different. Okay. But whenever she wants to begin the process, let her know because, as you know, I do whatever the students need and try and meet them in that process as much as I can.
Absolutely. Okay, I will. Definitely.
All right. You take care. Be careful with that cabin fever and many blessings to you and your family.
Thank you very much, and you too. I miss you, girl.
Thank you for listening to College for All. We hope you enjoyed our podcast and learned that college is an opportunity you can reach. Use this information and you can find out even more on our website at college4all.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at college4allamv. Thank you for listening, and until our next podcast, don't forget, nothing is impossible unless you think it is impossible.